What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. I have been growing something very special the past year, and I cannot wait to show you what that is. I hope everything has been good with you. If you're not already, as always, got to do the YouTube things. Please hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and come on back. Enjoy the journey. Welcome back, garden fans. Here it is. This is what I have been growing the past year. This is the greatest gift I've ever had. This is Permaculture Homestead Junior, and she is almost a year old. And this is our first kid. So for all you parents out there, you know there's a bit of a learning curve. We've been really focused on helping Permaculture Homestead Junior here. Yeah, we've been helping her get set up and get orientated to this new life that she's got. But I promise you, in the future, we're gonna have a Permaculture Homestead Junior channel geared more towards kids and gardening, so keep in touch for that. As always, if you're not already, please subscribe. This is the greatest gift and the greatest thing that I could be growing right now, and I appreciate y'all being patient with us. Yeah, dude. Now, I promise you, just because I haven't been here for a year, there's still stuff growing on back here and over at the project site, and I'm gonna get y'all updated this year. So keep in touch. And come on back. Let me show you what's growing on here at the home site. Welcome back to the home site, garden fans. It is St. Patrick's Day in Zone 8, South Carolina, and we are basically a go time. So I want to give you a full walkabout the food forest at this time of year, spring, and show you what's growing on right now. Starting with my back patio here, I've got my, this was my fall planted vegetable bed. I've got kale, we've got collards growing, we've got salad greens from fall, we have parsley coming up, we have kale and collard from last year that's starting to flower, and then of course kale and collards from last fall that I planted. These guys will be the ones that go to flower this upcoming year. We have garlic growing here as well. So just a lot of winter greens that I have been growing here. We have mint as a ground cover also growing here. So it looks kind of cluttered for sure, but I promise you everything is doing just fine and looking good. So this is my fall planted vegetable bed. In the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be tearing that down and planting out my summer veggies. Right here off the back patio, I've already got a good demonstration guild growing on. It starts with this centralized apricot tree, this sweet gem apricot, which is flowering and starting to leaf out. Okay, right next to that, I have a sacrificial gumi berry. This is a nitrogen fixing shrub, Elaeagnus multiflorea. It is going to flower right now. All of the nitrogen fixers are flowering. That is a sacrificial plant. I purposely prune it down really small. That way we've got some nitrogen being produced for the tree next door. And then the main crop shrub is this fajoa or pineapple guava growing on. Now I'm gonna take a path that I usually take through this food forest for you gardens fans, just give you a couple broad looks and a couple detailed looks. The next big guild we got is a mulberry tree that is kind of being pruned and trellised down over a peach tree. So here is the mulberry, and you can see the peach tree is flowering. Now all the peaches I got growing here have been basically coppiced down to about 6 feet tall, and I'm growing other things around them as the main crop. So yeah, the mulberry tree is starting to put on mulberries right now at this time of year. Same story, it's got this Elaeagnus, this nitrogen fixing shrub right underneath it. That's also going to flower. That's not the main crop, but it's here as a sacrificial plant. I've got those all over the place. And the main shrub, the long time species, is once again this pineapple guava sitting kind of right behind the apricot and right in front of the mulberry main crop tree right now. And this mulberry is getting really large right now. I've got 2 mulberries here. As a ground cover out here, garden fans, we've got things like blackberries that are coming up. The dominant weed species right now is chickenweed and henbit. And then elderberry is another one of the understory long-term shrubs. Now, so I've got this whole hedge of gumi right here, another hedge of gumi berry right here. Here again, all of those flowering right now, looking really good. The pollinators are out in full force. And then I have another mulberry tree not too far from that. And this mulberry tree is kind of a piece of art. I'm starting to kind of bend and trellis it over to the chicken fence over here. But you need to see how loaded this mulberry tree is. I mean, this guy is absolutely loaded with fruit. I don't think we're gonna get a late frost, so all this fruit set should be good here this year. Last year we got a bit of a late frost that killed a lot of the fruit. We didn't get as much as we're getting this year, so really heavy set of fruit right now on this mulberry tree. Love mulberries, easy fruiting tree for Zone 8 South Carolina. Definitely one to grow if you're not growing it. Not very picky with the maintenance at all. Pretty dang pest and disease tolerant plants. Circling over here, I got a chicken coop and shed. We've got our 4 backyard chickens. I'll be adding a couple new hens to the flock as we go along. They have a coop and run area, and then we have a closed, enclosed, and open area here. Fig growing, and then I got 2 plum trees that are in full bloom, totally blooming out. Flowers all over the place. Really beautiful shrubs. They love living right here underneath in the chicken coop. And you're going to see cuttings all over the place back here. I chop and drop all over the yard here. There is a muscadine grape that's kind of growing up along the fence line. It's trellised over the chicken coop. This guy's starting to break dormancy right now, starting to bud up a little bit, put on some green. Definitely going to get some muscadines off of that. I do feel like this place is kind of turning into an art installation. The way I'm kind of bending and shaping trees and shrubs all over the place. Here's another one of those gummy berry, another gummy berry, and then I have a combo gummy berry and a pomegranate right here together. Now, pomegranates love the support that they get. This structure is kind of held up by this heavily pruned gummy berry. And here again, the main crop is the pomegranate, and the backup species while I'm waiting for it to mature is that gummy berry right next to it, providing some nitrogen fixing for it. Got a couple things going down this swale line here. I have a jujube that is not breaking dormancy yet. Jujube right here. It is kind of surrounded by sumac, winged sumac. That is the support species. Next tree down, we have a pawpaw right here. This is a mango pawpaw. We then have a peach tree here again, heavily coppiced to make some canopy space open up for the pawpaws, which are the main crop. And then another one of those gummy Elaeagnus mixed in with another sprinkling of pawpaw trees here. And the pawpaws are of course all budding up and flowering up. Very beautiful flowers here if you've never seen them before. I will, as I have in the past couple of years, do some hand pollination to make sure that I get a good fruit set. But last year I didn't do a whole lot of pollination and they did just fine on their own. So a little hedge of pawpaw there, along with a mulberry and then a jujube here on the back 9. This next swale mound up and patty, and I got things trenched out here. We have another pawpaw tree, another peach tree, another fig tree. This is a black mission fig, and it is very large. And same story with the the peach tree here. This one's a little bit larger. It is flowering up there, this peach tree, but it has been heavily coppiced. I heavily coppice it every year. Peaches don't do that great here. I don't do enough pest control for them, so I've been kind of toning them down and letting the trees like the figs and the mulberries, which don't need much pest control, I've been kind of letting those take over. So the food forest has been developing over the past 8-9 years. For all of you who've been watching, I appreciate you keeping in touch. Comfrey out here, we got that all over the place. And then here again, the dominant understory weed right now is chickenweed and henbit. And at some point I've got sweet potato planted throughout this entire swale patty here. All those sweet potato are going to break dormancy and start coming up as well. Let me give you another big broad look at the whole food forest. We've got ground covers all over the place here. The biggest ones are things like lemon balm, mint. Yeah, comfrey is out here as well, but I want to give you a good broad look at it. It's very dense. You know, my backyard is really only 2,000 square feet, so I plant very densely. Each tree is probably about 6 to 7 feet apart. And with careful pruning, I promise you it works. Here we have another hedge of elderberry growing really well. I'm currently in the process of kind of cleaning up my water catchment system here. I'm replacing some of the old wood pallets with plastic pallets under there, something that are going to be a little longer lasting. And at some point I'm gonna kind of replace all the wood pallets with plastic pallets, so I won't have to come back here, you know, and do that maintenance of putting new pallets under here every couple years. So 300-gallon tanks is what I got for water catchment. Everything is fed through a swale system, a drip irrigation basically down these swales. And the last thing I want to show you all here is my last early spring planted veggie bed. It's right here off the back patio. So I have the kale and collards from last fall, and over here I've got stuff I've planted within the past couple weeks. Salad greens, also kale, collards are coming up, and then peas, just regular garden variety peas are coming up. I've got things like chamomile coming up here, one of my favorite early spring crops. Love chamomile and the medicinal benefits of it. And then once again, just some of those ground covers I was talking about a moment ago, things like lemon balm and mint really do kind of dominate the food forest out here. There are some raspberries still alive in this patch that are coming up and surviving, so this is the long-term crop along with the part-time crops growing underneath. Anyway, garden fans, I really appreciate y'all coming out here, checking out the food forest. As always, please give this video a thumbs up. That's what really helps us out. Like, share, subscribe. And if you got any questions about permaculture or what I got going on here, just ask. Try to answer all the questions that come on the first day that I post these videos. So I appreciate y'all coming out. Thanks for sticking around. God bless.